So let's continue on with part 4 of the linear gauge chart, and so far this is what I want to do. I want to make sure we have multiple values, but also we get the animation here. So let's start to work with the animation, because that is probably the highlight of everything here of this entire chart. So what we're going to do is, first let me just show you exactly what we need. You see here, we know here the bottom, and we have here the height, basically here the height value. So we know here basically how many pixels this is. And we also know that here the very top is 100 and the bottom is 0. So if we have a value, it should of course match with that. So how are we going to work with this? First of all, because we know this is 100, we know that the height divided by 100 value, or by 100, which is basically this data point here, will give us how many pixels one temperature is, and as it increases. So let's start to work on that. I'm going to say constant, and let's say here we call that a single unit. I need to know the pixel distance of a single unit. How do we calculate it? We're going to grab here the height, the chart area, divide by whatever the value is. And in this case, the value is 100, but I'm going to use a nice professional way. I'll use data, because I want to go from the data to the data sets index 0, and then grab here the data index number 0. So data sets index 0 data index 0. And if I do here console log, grab this, save, refresh, open up developer tab, you can see here approximately 3 pixels is the value. So then what I can do here is basically the following. What I want to do here is we have here the value. We had here like 50. It was the solid value. So how can I calculate that one? So what I will do here is basically say the y position. We can say here y position. And then what I want to do here, I guess we can say here, well, is it the y position? Let me double check. We should have here maybe the y position minus the single unit multiplied by whatever these values are. So we're going to grab one of these values, and I'm just going to say here, how do we get that? Well, we get that similar to what we did here, except now I'm just going to say here this will be the value of high, which is 99. Let's grab that one, put it in here. So then we have here the line. We save that, refresh. Alright, you see something is happening, but of course this is not really what I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab that, put it in here, because I want to make it similar. And as you can see here, it's somehow not showing. So the reason why it's not showing is, of course, I realize I'm getting too high in the values in the negatives. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. If I just change this to low, let's convert this to low, save, refresh. And right now you can see here it works, but for some reason if I copy this, it would just go out of the screen as well. So let's do console log and check my values. Save that, refresh. And as you can see here, what it's having, it's going in the negative. But the moment it goes in the negative, it goes so in the top that it's outside of the screen in this case. So we have here a slight issue, and if I do here a mid, it's probably going out as well halfway through. There we are, you can see it jumps up very quickly. So how can we solve this issue? Well, what we could do here is something else, is changing what is the starting position here. Because right now, the starting position, this here up is 0, so it will just go out of the screen. But what if we make this 0, and then the animation can be a negative value gradually going up? And that is the trick here. So what I'm going to do here is ctx.translate. And by translating this, what I'm going to say here is the following. I want to make the x position by 0, but then I also have the bottom. So basically, the bottom here at this position, this is the 0.0 in pixels. So once I did that, I need to make sure, if I refresh here, of course it now does all weird stuff. I need to restore this effect or else it will not work. So what I can do here is say ctx.restore, save, refresh, there we are. Alright, so now we have this. Now you might say, well, why is it not showing? Well, the reason why it doesn't show is that this export position is on the wrong place. So, or this here is now the 0 point. So let's start with that. If I save that, refresh, there we are, and now we're getting somewhere. I'm not sure what is the value of this one. That should be, if I'm not mistaken, 66. Let's make this 50 to see if we are exactly in the center. And as you can see, we're now starting to get there. We're in the center here, and that starts to look quite nice. So now we have this logic. Basically, we're switching the starting position so the calculation will work in our benefit instead of our opposites. So that's basically what we're doing here. So now we have this working. We could basically produce them all immediately by saying here mid, and we can say low, low, and then we have another one. We can put in here high, high, save, refresh. Now we're getting 3 values here, and this one is not hitting the very top but very close to it. But you can see this is value of 99. If I do value 100, we should see here the very top. As you can see here, it's almost that at the top that it even slices 1 pixel of it. So there should be even well, we have to look at that one. Maybe give the padding here a little bit of padding. So let's do that one. I'm going to say layout, and then we're going to say a padding, and the padding will be top position. Let's give it just 1 pixel. I think that's the reason why the animation doesn't look that well. So we're going to save that, refresh. There you are. As you can see here, it doesn't slice off. Basically, this is it slices off a half pixel, and that's why it looks so, it was trying to fade almost. Now this works nicely. Alright, so this works. Let's put this back here. That one looks nice as well. So what I want to do now is, well, eventually we have to put in the text as well. We can use here probably the same logic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all of this, paste this in here, then we have all of this, and then what we can do here is to change the X position to 0, because that was because of the translation it became like that, or the translate. So once we do this, we have the bar thickness plus 25, and then we have here the value of plus 50. So if I save this, let's see what we even get here. As you can see here, this is still not correct. So what I'm going to do here now, this not plus 50 should be probably the single unit high or low, depending on what the value is. Save. There we are, as you can see here. Now what I could do is just copy this, put it in here. There we are. That looks quite nice. So we have this one now. Let's see here. Well, one more time. Alright, that works. The text here that we have fixed, I can probably remove. What we could do now is to duplicate, well, basically only this one here. We don't need to duplicate anything else because all these colors and everything should be consistent. So put this in there, put that in there. We're going to say here a low, low, mid, or I think it was mid. Save that, refresh. Alright, that was not mid, I guess. Let's see what's the mid. It is mid. So we're going to scroll down here. Where's the mid? Mid, low, mid, mid. Save that. That's probably the one. 50. Why is my low, mid? Alright, this is the high. Sorry, that I probably misspelled that one. Alright, so that works. So what I want to do in the next video is work on the current, which should be on the right side. And after we're going to fine tune this code here, this could be all reduced as well.